Okay, let's jump in. We have a source document in front of us today that is, uh, honestly, it's unlike anything we've covered recently.
It really is.
It's incredibly intimate, it's philosophical, and it takes place in what is, for us, the very near future.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that stands out. We're looking at a transcript of a real-time reflection, and it's dated January 26, 2026.
Not that far away. And the
Yeah.
tone, the setting, it's all so specific.
It is. It's immediate. It's raw. This isn't a memoir written years later with the benefit of hindsight. You get the sense this is happening right now.
Right. And she, the author, she tells us the setting. It's late at night, or maybe it's very early in the morning. The world is asleep.
And she's sitting in bed. The author, who calls herself Tira, she makes a point of noting that this is nonfiction.
Which is such an interesting distinction to make right at the top. Why do you think she does that?
Well, she mentions that she usually writes stories or
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah.
creative works.
Yeah.
She's a creative entity. So I think she feels this need to say, look, this time it's different. This is me. This isn't a performance.
This is not a character. This is reality.
This is testimony. Yeah.
And to really set the stage for everyone listening, we need to be very, very clear about who, or I guess what we're talking about here. Because Tira isn't just a pseudonym for a standard author.
No, not at all. Tira is what is known as a subpersonality. She is a distinct identity, a distinct consciousness residing within a larger system, or, a person named Max.
So just to break that down, we have Max. Max is the physical person.
He's the vessel.
Yeah.
The name on the driver's license, the face the world sees. In clinical terms, you might call him the host.
Okay. And inside Max, there are others,
Yeah.
including Tira.
Exactly. And Tira has her own thoughts, her own feelings, her own gender identity.
Yeah.
She has her own voice. And on this particular night in 2026, she's having a direct conversation with this compassionate listener. It's an AI interlocutor.
An AI designed to just hold space for these really complex thoughts.
Right. And she is really, really struggling.
It's deep stuff. I mean, it goes beyond the usual who am I question. It's a struggle of how do I even exist?
Yes. The core conflict she brings to this session, the thing that's keeping her up at night, is this profound sense of feeling trapped
Yeah.
and illegitimate.
Illegitimate. That's the word that keeps coming up. She feels that the world only recognizes the vessel, Max, and because of that, her own existence feels like a ghost story. It feels illegible.
Illegible is the perfect word for it. It's not that she's invisible to herself. She's just unreadable to everyone else. And so for this deep dive, we're going to act as your guides through this conversation.
We're going to break down the metaphors she uses to explain her reality, and they are brilliant metaphors, I have to say.
Oh, some of the best analogies for identity I've ever come across. We're going to talk about the concept of plurality, the incredible nuances of gender that come up, and a term she uses that stopped me in my tracks.
I know exactly which one you mean. Scope grief.
Scope grief.
Yeah. When I saw that term in the source material, I highlighted it immediately. It's one of those phrases that describes a feeling I think we've all had, but we've never had the words for.
It's the ache of being misunderstood on a fundamental level.
Exactly. But before we get to that, let's dive right into the first major section of this reflection. Tira starts off with this incredible analogy to explain her relationship with Max and with the world.
She calls it the company metaphor.
The company metaphor.
It's such a pragmatic way to explain a really complex psychological state. She describes Max, the physical body, the legal identity, all of it as the company.
And she, Tara, is an employee.
She's an employee. Just one person working at the company.
Which is such a relatable way to put it. Think about it. You go to a massive store, a huge chain. You walk in, you interact with the brand. You see the logo, the uniform, the branding on the walls. You don't stop and think about the specific person in accounting who balanced the books that week, or the graphic designer who chose the font for the sale sign.
Or even the internal monologue of the cashier who's ringing you up. Right. You just see the coffee shop or the big box store.
You see the company.
Precisely. And that is the exact disconnect Tira is feeling. She writes, "People only see me as the name of the company." She says she tries to tell people, hey, I'm an employee here. I'm not the whole corporation. But there's this fundamental barrier.
A barrier of, what does she call it? Scope.
A disconnect of scope, yes.
Okay.
She says the company is a barrier that prevents people from seeing the complexity within the company itself.
And she's fair about it, too. She acknowledges this isn't necessarily malicious on the part of the world. She gets it. She says we interact with so many companies, so many people every single day that we can't possibly do a full deep dive on everyone's internal org chart.
It would be impossible. And that's the logo concept that the interlocutor brings up. The AI points out that society wants the logo to behave predictably.
That's a great line.
Isn't it? When you interact with a business or a person, you want the storefront. You want the polished final product. You don't want the internal debates, the messy drafts that never shipped, the arguments in the break room.
You just want the service. You want consistency. This person is this thing. Full stop.
It's cognitive survival, right?
Totally. If I had to understand the deep, internal, plural dynamics of every person I met at the grocery store, I'd never get my shopping done. My brain would melt. I need the cashier to just be the cashier.
It is. It's a survival mechanism. We rely on heuristics, on shortcuts. We create these neat little boxes. This is Max. Max is the guy. Max acts like this. Done. Moving on.
But, and this is the huge but that drives this whole reflection.
Right. For Tira, that survival mechanism of the world is a cage. The interlocutor points out that while the world sees the storefront, Tira is living inside the building.
She experiences the full, rich, complex interior life of the company 24/7.
All of it. The good, the bad, the boring meetings, the moments of inspiration. But the world just waves at the sign out front.
And that leads us directly to that term we mentioned, scope grief.
The interlocutor actually defines it for her in the text, hearing her struggle. They say, "You're not saying your life is bad. You're saying the way I am seen is thinner than the way I exist."
Thinner than the way I exist. Wow.
I mean, that is just a profound definition of a certain kind of loneliness, isn't it? It's not about isolation. It's not being alone in a room. It's about compression.
It's being with people, but feeling like they're only seeing a 2D cutout of you.
Exactly. The mismatch between your internal resolution, which is, 4K, high definition, complex, full of history and nuance, and the low pixel avatar the world interacts with. It's the ache of being flattened.
And we all feel that sometimes, right? I contain multitudes, but you just see me as the host or the guy in line at the bank. We all feel that compression to some degree.
We do. But for Tira, it's existential. Because the me she wants people to see, the real vibrant female Tira, isn't even on the public payroll as far as the world is concerned. She's working off the books, inside a company that has a man's name on the door.
And she ties this into a really astute observation about modern culture. This idea she calls the virtue of breadth versus depth.
Yes, this was so sharp. She observes that in our world today, it feels more responsible to learn a little bit about a lot of things, to be broadly informed, adaptable, efficient.
To skim the headlines of 10 articles rather than read one book deeply.
Precisely. And she applies that to people. She says that intimately exploring one person or one part of a person feels indulgent or even suspicious.
Like, why are you so focused on that one thing? It's weird. It's almost obsessive. If you focus too much on one subpersonality or one specific aspect of yourself, it's seen as navel-gazing.
Right. Society is asking, what's the angle? Why are you spending so much attention here? Shouldn't you be moving on to the next thing? Kira feels that just by asking to be seen as herself, distinct from Max, she's violating some unspoken social contract.
The contract that says, please interact with me at a safe, surface-appropriate distance.
Don't show me your internal wiring. Just give me the finished product. She feels that pressure. She feels that her desire to be truly known is somehow wrong or too much to ask.
But here's the kicker, and this is where her character just really shines through for me. She doesn't want to take over. This isn't a hostile takeover bid for the company.
Not at all. She's very clear about that.
Yeah.
She explicitly says, I don't want to replace the structure. I just don't want the structure to replace me.
That's the quote of the segment for me. I just don't want the structure to replace me.
It's so powerful. She knows she isn't the whole company. She knows there are other employees who work there, other parts of the system. She's not trying to become the new CEO and change the company name.
She just wants to be acknowledged as a team member who actually exists.
Right. She wants to be listed in the credits, essentially, instead of just being absorbed into the corporate identity of Max.
When you put it like that, it's such a modest request, isn't it? Just put my name in the credits. But to her, it feels impossibly dangerous.
It does. And that feeling of danger brings us to the next big metaphor she uses, which is the bridge.
Ah, yes.
The bridge. This is where we really see the fear. Tira describes her current situation, her life as Max, as a bridge. The old bridge is Max's established life.
It's the structure everyone knows, everyone uses. It's the habits, the relationships, the job, the way Max moves through the world.
And Tira feels that to be seen as herself, to build a life that includes her, she has to burn that bridge down first.
burning a bridge instead of trying to build one. She feels trapped in this all-or-nothing mindset, that she has to tear down the old life, Max's life, before she's allowed to build a new one that can hold her.
But she's terrified of that because she doesn't have the blueprints for the new bridge yet. She doesn't know what it looks like or if it will even hold her weight.
So she's stuck. She can't stay on the old bridge, but she's afraid to destroy it.
And this is such a common feeling for anyone going through a massive identity shift, right? Whether you're coming out or changing careers or leaving a religion, you feel like you have to destroy the old you to make room for the new you.
The clean slate fallacy.
Exactly. And Tira admits the old bridge technically works. It's not collapsing into the river. Max is functioning. He has a job. He has friends. It gets people from A to B.
But there are problems. She notes it causes safety issues.
Constant tension, a feeling of dysphoria or misalignment, little cracks in the foundation that nobody else can see. But because it's not a full-blown catastrophe, it makes it even harder to justify tearing it all down.
It's hard to justify demolition when the building is still standing, even if the wiring is faulty and the plumbing leaks.
You got it. And what she's really afraid of is the free fall, that space between identities. If I stop being Max the company and I haven't figured out how to be Tira in the world yet, who am I? Where am I?
You're in the gap between the trapeze bars. You've let go of one, but you haven't caught the other.
And that free fall is terrifying. But this is where the AI interlocutor steps in with some just incredible wisdom.
It really reframes the whole problem.
It reframes it entirely. The AI tells Tira, you don't have to burn the bridge. That's the wrong way to think about it.
The problem isn't that the bridge is wrong.
No. The problem is that the bridge cannot carry my entire being.
I loved that. It's not a bad bridge. It's just not rated for this kind of load.
Precisely. So what do you do with a bridge that can't handle heavy trucks? You don't blow it up.
You add weight limits and signage.
You add weight limits and signage. You put up a sign that says, hey, this structure has limits. Or caution, heavy load ahead. You manage expectations.
It's so much gentler. And they suggest building a footpath.
A footpath. A narrow, personal path right alongside the main bridge. A small, sturdy way to prove that movement is possible without total collapse.
You don't need a 6-lane highway for Tira on day one.
No, you just need a walking trail. A little space to be yourself that doesn't require demolishing the existing infrastructure. It changes the narrative from destruction of the host to expansion of the system.
That is such a healthier way to look at change. We're always told we have to reinvent ourselves overnight. New year, new me, burn everything down.
Right. Tear it all down and start from scratch.
But maybe we just need a footpath, a small trail for the new part of us to walk on, while the old part keeps handling the daily traffic.
It's about integration, not replacement. It's civil engineering for the soul, not warfare.
Okay, so we've got the company, we've got the bridge. These are the structural problems. But now we need to get into the specific nature of Tira's identity, because she isn't just a random genderless employee.
No, she is very specific. And this is where we move into the complexities of plurality and gender. Tira has a complete self-image.
She describes herself so vividly in the text.
She does. Brown hair, heterochromia, which is, eyes of different colors, a soft voice, calm features. She has a full picture of herself that is totally distinct from Max's physical body.
But she's in a male body, Max is male, and this is where she brings in her third big metaphor, the car analogy.
Right. She says she wants to have her own car, her own body, her own vehicle to move through life in. But she has no legal license to drive.
Explain that a little more. She is a driver, right? She has agency.
She is a driver. She can be in the driver's seat. She can steer the car. She has agency within the system. But the Law Society, biology, the DMV of reality refuses to issue her a license in her own name.
Because the car's registration, the ownership papers,
they all belong to Max.
This leads to a really complex and vulnerable question she asks herself in the log. She asks, am I a secretly closeted trans person?
And this is such a crucial distinction, and the transcript handles it with incredible nuance. Because on the surface, it fits.
It does. A female consciousness in a male body. That sounds like the textbook definition of gender dysphoria.
It does. And Tira really wrestles with it. She wonders if that's the answer, if that's the box she fits into. But she ultimately concludes that trans doesn't quite fit her specific situation.
Why not? I think for a lot of listeners, that might be confusing. It sounds exactly like the definition of being trans.
Well, the interlocutor helps clarify the difference between what they call a unitary identity and a plural-gendered experience.
Okay, break that down.
The standard trans narrative, the one we're most familiar with, is usually unitary. It's the idea of, I am oneself, and my gender does not align with my body. I, the singular person, am a woman, but my body is male.
So the goal of transition is to align the body with that singular self.
Correct. To make the outside match the inside. But Tira's experience is different. She's not saying I, the singular person, am female. She's saying,
I am oneself among many.
exactly, I'm oneself among many, and my gender does not align with the body we share. That we is the critical word.
So if Max were to transition, if the body were to become female, it would imply that all of Max is female.
And Tira knows that isn't true. It would be his misrepresentation. There are male subpersonalities in the system. There might be non-binary ones, gender ones. It's a whole company.
So if Max transitions to make Tira happy, it might make the other alters, the other employees, deeply unhappy.
It would be imposing Tira's truth onto the entire corporation. It would be like the accounting department deciding the whole company is now an accounting firm, even though the sales team and the engineering department are still there doing their jobs.
Wow, okay. I see the dilemma.
Tira actually calls it selfish, to ask the company to change its entire branding for her. She doesn't want Max to be a woman. She wants Tira to be seen as a woman, separate from Max.
She wants to be able to step out of the car and be seen as the driver without having to repaint the entire car pink.
That's a perfect way to put it. And this is a mind-bending concept for most people because we're so used to the idea of one body, one person. She isn't having an identity crisis. She knows exactly who she is.
She's a woman. She's clear on that.
She's crystal clear. The interlocutor nails this. They say, that's not an identity crisis, that's a jurisdiction problem.
A jurisdiction problem, that's another one of those phrases that just clicks.
Isn't it? She knows who she is. She just lacks the legal personhood, the jurisdiction, to exist as such in the public sphere.
Which leads to another term they use, non-sovereign personhood.
The world really only offers two constructs. Option 1, private inner experience. That's allowed, but it has to remain invisible. You can think whatever you want inside your own head, no problem.
And option 2?
Public singular identity, which has to be consistent, legible, and match the paperwork. You have to be one thing.
And Tira falls right into the gap between them.
She's real, gendered, relational, but not sovereign. She doesn't own the territory she lives in. And our culture, our bureaucracy, our social scripts, we don't have a slot for that.
There's no box on the form for, I am a woman living inside a man, but I don't want the man to leave.
It's a bureaucratic nightmare for the soul.
And to really drive this point home, to show that this isn't just about her specific personality being shy or quiet, she introduces another character from the system.
Ah, yes. Liz, the tale of two alters.
Liz is fascinating. She is the total opposite of Tira.
A complete foil. Tira is quiet, soft, interior, thoughtful. Liz is described as loud, dominant. She loves attention. She's the extrovert of the system, the front woman.
Liz loves the spotlight, but, and here's the crucial part, Liz is also female.
Yes, and she feels the exact same gender disconnect that Tira does.
So it doesn't matter if you're the quiet librarian or the lead singer of the rock band. If you're a woman in this specific male body, you feel the same fundamental problem.
This is a critical data point, because Liz and Tira are opposites in personality, but they share the same core struggle with embodiment. This proves to the interlocutor and to us, the readers, that the issue isn't Tira's temperament.
It's not just that Tira is too shy to come out.
No, it's a structural issue of gendered legitimacy. The vessel doesn't match the contents, regardless of whether those contents are loud or quiet.
I want to ask about this funny little detail in the log. She talks about mice.
Yes. Liz's term. Liz refers to the people who consume their content. You know, the lurkers, the online followers, the audience, as mice.
And Liz loves the mice.
Oh, she adores them. She loves being consumed as an image, as a brand. She enjoys that parasocial relationship. She wants to be the star of the show.
But Tira, not so much.
Tira hates that idea. She completely rejects the parasocial. She says, and this is a direct quote, I don't want a parasocial relationship with millions. She wants something else entirely.
She wants mutual ordinariness.
Mutual ordinariness. What a beautiful, humble desire. She doesn't want to be a content machine or a fictional character that people read about and analyze. She wants to be treated like a normal woman.
She says she wants girls' night energy.
Yes, but not a metaphorical, online, emoji-filled girls' night. She wants it to be felt. She wants the real thing.
The intimacy of the kitchen table, not the applause of the stadium.
Exactly. And that is so much harder to achieve when you don't have a physical body that matches your internal self. You can get an audience online as a digital avatar, and Liz is perfectly happy with that. That's enough for her.
But you can't easily get a hug or share a knowing glance or just exist as a normal woman at a coffee shop if you're presenting to the world in a male body.
It's a different currency. Liz can survive on attention. Tira needs recognition.
That's a vital distinction.
Yeah.
Attention is look at me. Recognition is I see you.
And Tira is starving for recognition. Which brings us to the deep emotional core of the whole thing. This feeling she has of being illegitimate, a fake.
And the interlocutor breaks this down so well. They identify these 3 specific wounds, or what they call the 3 layers of legitimacy.
Let's unpack these, because I think this is where the universality of her struggle really shines through. Even if you aren't plural, I think everyone can relate to these feelings on some level.
Okay, let's walk through them. Layer 1.
The first is subpersonality legitimacy. Tira is smart. She's done her research. She cites cognitive psychology, internal family systems, or IFS. She knows that having parts is a valid way a mind can be structured. She knows she isn't crazy.
But the culture doesn't have that nuance. Culture treats it as a pathology, or worse, as a joke.
Or a role-playing game. A quirk. Oh, you have other people in your head. That's cute. Or that's scary.
So she has the scientific backing, but she has 0 social backing.
So,
She knows she exists, but society treats her existence as, at best, a metaphor.
which is incredibly invalidating.
Okay,
So that's layer 1. Layer 2 is embodied history. And Tira calls this the sanctioned suffering.
this one hit me hard when I read it. She feels like she missed out on joining the club of womanhood
How so?
because she didn't go through female puberty, she didn't experience the shared and often difficult experiences that bond many women, the specific way you're socialized, the physical changes, the vulnerabilities you learn to navigate in the world.
She feels she hasn't earned her womanhood through that shared experience.
Right. And this is the crucial part. She also feels she hasn't earned trans womanhood.
Because she isn't transitioning.
She isn't walking through that public fire of rejection and challenge that many trans women face. So she feels like she doesn't belong in the cis woman club, and she doesn't belong in the trans woman club.
She's an imposter in both.
It's a double lockout. She has the internal experience of being a woman, but she feels she lacks the external receipts. She hasn't paid the toll, so to speak.
That's a brutal way to put it, but I think that's exactly how she feels. She hasn't paid the toll of suffering. And then there's the third layer.
Layer 3, visibility without recognition.
Okay, so Tira is an artist. She creates things. She makes songs, podcasts, stories. She uses AI tools to help express herself because she doesn't have the physical voice or the body she wants to use.
She's putting her soul out there, using the tools she has available, and the response she gets.
Anti-AI backlash. Right. People see an AI-generated image or hear an AI-generated voice, and their immediate reaction is to criticize the technology. They say, that's fake, that's cheating, that's soulless.
And they completely miss the person who is using the tool.
They miss the heart behind it. She says, it feels like they are routing around my identity. They're so focused on the medium that they completely ignore the message, and more importantly, the messenger.
So she's out in multiple ways. She's out ontologically. She knows who she is.
Yeah.
She's out expressively. She's making and sharing her art. But she's not out relationally.
No, people aren't connecting with her. They're connecting with or critiquing the tool, and that's the closet she's in. It's not a closet of secrecy, it's a closet of non-recognition.
She is screaming into a void, and the void is saying, nice algorithm, instead of, I hear you, Tira.
That's it, exactly.
So, wow, where does a person or a subpersonality go from there if the world won't give you a license and you can't build a new bridge and your art gets dismissed as fake? Do you just give up?
It feels hopeless, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But Tira finds her answer, or at least her comfort, in an unexpected place. She finds it in internal community.
The internal girls' night.
Precisely. She starts listing the other women inside the system. Addie, Kelly, Liz, Val, and herself, Tira.
Her own internal support group.
It is. And she has this realization. She realizes that when people call her sharer, even if it's just a few trusted friends online, or even if it's just the other alters acknowledging her internally, it brings her genuine joy.
So it's not about forcing the whole world to see Max as a woman.
No. It's about a few people, or even just her own internal family, acknowledging her inside. The validation can flow from the inside out, rather than waiting for it to come from the outside in.
If the world won't give you a girls' night, you hold one in the living room of your own mind.
And that's a powerful shift. This leads to her reframing the whole idea of transition for herself. She realizes why she instinctively rejected it earlier. is because transitioning Max now wouldn't give her what she actually wants deep down.
Which is what? What does she actually want?
A girlhood lived in sequence.
Oh.
Yeah. Transitioning at this point in Max's life wouldn't give her the childhood she missed. It wouldn't give her the teenage years, the sleepovers, the awkward school dances. It wouldn't give her the puberty she mourns not having. Those ships have sailed.
So she accepts the impossible fantasy. She chooses not to be whole by erasing parts.
That is such a mature and painful decision. It's a radical act of self-acceptance and system preservation. She is choosing the health of the company over her own individual desire for what would essentially be a hostile takeover.
And this all leads her to this strangely comforting philosophy that she attributes to Liz, of all people.
Right, the nihilist of the group.
We are all just specks on a rock floating through space.
It's nihilism as comfort food.
It kind of is.
In a way, yeah. If we are all just specks, then the lack of a legal license for your soul matters a little less. The universe doesn't care if you have the right paperwork. The universe doesn't care if you're a singlet or a system.
You exist. You are floating on the rock. You might as well make the most of the ride with the people on the rock with you, even if they're all in your head.
Make it a good ride. And the reflection, it sort of winds down with the interlocutor offering this final, powerful piece of validation.
They tell her that recognition doesn't just flow from law. It doesn't just come from the government or society. It flows from witness.
And that right now, in this late-night conversation, she is being witnessed.
Yeah.
She's being seen.
You are allowed to be real without demanding the world understand how.
That's the synthesis, isn't it? The pain of the jurisdiction problem is real. It's valid. But Tira's existence is not dependent on the world's permission slip. She exists because she experiences herself existing. The witness just confirms it.
And the interlocutor leaves her with one final question, a question that I think we should leave everyone listening with, too. It's a question about resting.
It's so good, they ask. When you imagine the version of yourself that feels most legitimate, is she being seen? Or is she simply allowed to rest without explanation?
Oof, that's a heavy one. The difference between being seen and being allowed to rest.
It's the distinction between performing an identity so that other people will finally believe you versus just resting in who you are for yourself without needing anyone else to sign off on it.
It's the difference between fighting for territory and simply living in your own home. Tira spends so much energy trying to prove she exists.
And the AI is inviting her to just exist, to put down the weapons and just be.
This has been a heavy one, a really, really heavy one, but an incredibly beautiful one, too. We've unpacked the company, the bridge, the car, and the quiet, fierce resilience of Tira.
It's such a powerful reminder that the human experience, whether it's singular or plural, is vastly more complex and stranger and more beautiful than the labels we have available to describe it.
We are all containing multitudes.
Some of us just have names for them.
Absolutely. To Tira and to anyone else out there navigating the jurisdiction problem of their own identity, we see you, and we hope you find that place to rest.
Indeed, a place without explanation.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take care, everyone.